Welcome to DasGeek. Now, I have the greatest community on the planet. Now, every YouTuber says that, but I actually have it. So with that, I wanted to bring your attention to an issue that is very serious and will set precedent, and I will show you why for future attacks and cases against Linux and open source. Now, I am not a lawyer and I cannot give legal advice, and everything I'm about to express in this video is solely my opinion. But it's important, I think, as a community that we benefit so much from the work of the open source developers and the teams that work after they do their regular full-time job. They come home and they work on these projects so that you and I can enjoy and hack away and examine and learn from the code that they write to create applications and desktops and operating systems that we get to enjoy, and many times free of charge. And when somebody comes in from your typical corporate world and starts suing one of those foundations, then this becomes a very, very serious issue, because now they're going after open source, which open source is one of the few things out there actually helping to close the digital divide, is helping everyone have access to powerful programs, to learn about computers, to learn about how their operating system works, to learn to program. Artists can be artists utilizing free and open source tools. People can create music using free and open source tools. And it's a betterment for the planet. It's better for all humanity to have these available. And when a company comes in, especially what I would consider a patent troll company, a company that, based on any research you do, has nothing but patents that they buy up. They produce nothing. They create nothing. They're essentially, in my opinion, completely worthless. A disease on the planet comes in and tries to sue a company with some stupid, ridiculous patent. It's important that we all rally together to take them down. Because one of the things that the open source community does have, it doesn't have trillion-dollar corporations backing it. It doesn't have billions of dollars, but it has millions and millions of people around the world who can come together and make a huge impact and raise a lot of money in order to fight these corporations. So to catch everybody up, the Gnome Foundation is facing a lawsuit from a company called Rothschild Patent Imaging LLC. Patents in their name seems to be all they do. Apparently, they had recently acquired a patent, and I'll have links to these articles down below, that allows them, for some reason, it was allowed that they could get a patent that any product that uses image capturing device to perform any method, the product imports and filters photographic images from cameras, allowing users to organize the photos and share them on social media. Certain aspects of this element are illustrated in the screenshots below. And basically, Shotwell, which is a product of Gnome, has, obviously, because it is a photo application, the ability to plug in a camera and import photos and share those on the web in some form or fashion. And this is the stupid patent that, of course, they're attacking a free and open source company over it. Now, we're also going to cover it this week in Destination Linux. So if you want to hear the opinions of the other hosts on this situation, I can tell you they don't vary from mine very far. This is a very frustrating situation to see. Shotwell is not the only one being sued. Apparently, they are suing other companies as well. They have 6 active cases, 42 inactive cases, 4 patents in litigation. So this is all they do. They just go around basic patent trolling and attacking, and now they're going to see what they can get done in the open source world. So I want to take you to this next article, which kind of talks about the same situation here. Makers of Gnome, the free desktop environment, sued by infamous patent troll. So again, many people discussing the fact that this company, the only thing they do, the only thing that they have is basically patents that they sue people for. Again, create nothing. What an embarrassment. Could you imagine working for a company that doesn't innovate, creates nothing, and just goes out there and tries to acquire ridiculous patents in order to sue people. What a miserable existence that must be. One website counts 30 lawsuits filed since June involving Rothschild Patent Imaging LLC, with more than 100 ongoing. And of course, Gnome is on that list of companies that they're going after. So the next thing I want to talk about is this role of precedent here, which, again, I'm not a lawyer and I don't know how all of these different things can impact cases, but I have lawyers in the family, and one of the things they talk about is role of precedent. And essentially, there are some qualifications for a case to be used in this manner. But if somebody wins a specific kind of case and it has a lot of similar features to the case that they're bringing, for instance, a patent troll, if they win a case against the Gnome Foundation and then they go to another open source product and they're suing on the same patent and the same role, same basic factors are involved of the image, being able to share with social media and those type of things, then what happens is that could be used as basically a basis before a judge to say, this was already ruled on, the case meets all the same standards, you should rule in our favor. It's basically utilized in the court as a standard to set upon. So if this troll patent, if this company, this worthless disease of a company, in my opinion, wins, then what happens is they can start utilizing that to start litigating against other open source projects. So let's say, Gnome creates so many things. Even if you don't use their products on a regular basis, maybe you don't use Shotwell, there is if you use Linux, a 99.9% chance you're using some of their work somewhere. And they are an incredible force within the Linux world of good. And the fact that they are being sued and have to deal with this when they are doing so much work for the community as a whole, and you're dealing with a organization that's not some major corporation like a Samsung and Apple being attacked by companies like this, just infuriates me. So what can you do? Well, the good thing is, and I had asked back when I first heard about this weeks ago, if the Gnome Foundation was going to allow the community to get involved. And they did. They set up this Give Lively page here, and they have already raised $105,433. So absolutely everybody who's donated, all 2,664 of you so far, I love your face. Thank you so much for, even if it was $1, $5, whatever it is that you were able to give. Thank you so much for doing this. Now, there are some people on here who have donated $5,000, for instance. That's incredible. That shows you how important some people feel this is going to be for the future of open source. The worst thing that could happen, and I've been in corporate America for 20 years of my life, is to have the nonsense and craziness of corporate America infect open source and open source communities. It would be devastating if that happens, which is why in so many ways, when these big companies take interest in open source and Linux, it scares me because I know the games that go on. And the fact that this is now turning onto the Gnome Foundation, to me, says that we have to take action. We have to show these individuals that while the individual companies and things don't have massive amounts of billions of dollars and tons of lawyers out there, that we are willing to fight as a whole, as an entire entity, to take these diseases of companies out of play. Now, I also want to make sure I take the time to applaud the Gnome Foundation, because the request, apparently, according to their site, was for something around 5 figures to just pay off this patent and move on. Basically, they pay for the patent and they can continue to use the license to share media when you plug in a camera, which every single software, across the board, has features like this built in. The fact that it was even able to be patented to begin with is ridiculous, but this company didn't even create it. They just go and buy these patents that expire and sue people based on them. And so, but the fact that the Gnome Foundation wasn't forward thinking enough to say, listen, we're not rich, but we're not poor either. And if we don't fight this and stand firm, who is? And next they could go after some, individual person who created some app that has a social sharing, message to it, and swindle them out of 5-10 grand, or make them pay for the fact that their software is out there for free. Doesn't matter. Going to personally hold them liable for this type of nonsense. You never know where this type of stuff is capable of going, which is why it's so important that we come together as a community and help them reach their goal here of $125,000. In court cases and things, that's not a lot of money. And certainly a Gnome is going to be dipping into their savings here to fight this as well. And I hope that they bring back additional fundraisers as this thing goes on. Gnome has also filed additional repeals to the case, and hopefully they can get out throwing that way. But otherwise, this thing could go on for years. These litigations tend to, these patent trolls know exactly what they're doing, and they tend to seek just to wear people down in a lot of cases. So they may need a lot of funds to fight this. This may not be the last time I make a video on helping the Gnome Foundation accomplish this here. Now, Destination Linux Network, which we formed together with all of these fantastic channels out there, all of the shows that are part of Destination Linux have come together and made a donation to help the Gnome Foundation as well. So I don't want you to think we're just sitting here asking for your help. I have personally also made a donation to match, as well as Noah made a donation to match. And I know others in the network have also made personal donations. So we are definitely doing our part and getting the message out, like I said, on Destination Linux podcast, which reaches over 115 countries now. We are talking about this in the latest episode. Neil McGovern has also, part of the Gnome Foundation, been on Destination Linux before. So if you're interested in seeing that interview, you can check out episode 64 of Destination Linux. This was back in April 2nd, 2018, before any of this litigation and things happened. But I just wanted to mention that in case you wanted to get to know Gnome, who has been a focal point talking about this case as much as he can, obviously, because it's an ongoing case. He can't give all of the different elements going on, but he can basically has been out there talking about what's going on and how they're trying to fight it. So that's my video. I really hope you can get out there and we can get the Gnome Foundation past this $125,000 goal very quickly. Every amount helps, but if you cannot afford to make a donation, please go out there on all of your social media accounts and tweet this out to the communities, because you may have 4, 5, 6, 20, 100 friends that do have the ability to give $1, $5, $10, and every little bit helps. And seeing how many people, the 2,664 donors, is incredible. But keep in mind, there are hundreds of thousands of users of Gnome, which is why, even though they're getting so close to the goal, I wanted to make this video, because we should be able to hit this in days, right? Not weeks and weeks, to get this much money with as many people that benefit from the great work that the Gnome Foundation does. So let me know in the comments below. Give a big shout out to yourself in the comments if you've donated, if you've supported, because that's something to be proud of. And definitely get the message out to your friends out there. Thank you for watching this video. The money that I used to donate to the Gnome Foundation was more than, but up to the full amount that I would made in a month on this YouTube channel. So by watching all the videos and all the love and support that you've given has allowed me to take that money and give it to the Gnome Foundation, and then some on top of that. So thank you so much for continuing to watch the videos and for being the greatest community on the planet. And until next time, get out there and fill your brains.
Don't forget to subscribe! And make them if you like this video.